What's happening, everyone? It's Spectre. Today I'm bringing you a video that's quite different from my Let's Plays and other top 10 videos that my channel is known for. This is my first attempt at a commentated top 10, so if you like it, please be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. I would also love to hear your feedback, so make sure to comment down below with your thoughts on today's top 10 and let me know if you'd like to see more of them. Instead of looking at the standard overused and uber water types, we're going to take a bit more of an original approach. Today we're looking at the top 10 most underrated water type Pokemon. In order to determine these top 10, I'll be taking into consideration the Pokemon's designs, stats, movesets, and of course, what tier they are in for competitive battling, which is determined by how much it is used. I've also included 3 honorable mentions that you'll see at the end of the video. These are 3 Pokemon that almost made the list, but were slightly outdone by a Pokemon that has a similar function in battles. The purpose of this video is to help broaden people's sights in terms of the Pokemon that they use, and to help foster appreciation for some lesser known and lesser used Pokemon. Without any further ado, let's jump right into the list. Coming in at number 10 is KINGDRA, a second generation Pokemon which evolves from the first generation water type, Seadra. Although KINGDRA's design is popular with Pokemon fans, most don't think to use him in battle. KINGDRA is currently in the borderline 3 tier, meaning it's right between the rarely used and never used tiers of competitive battling. KINGDRA's water and dragon typing is absolutely fantastic, as it resists fire and water, strongly resists steel, and is only weak to dragon and fairy. This means that its water typing has no weaknesses and provides same type attack bonus, or stab coverage, at literally no cost. KINGDRA's base stats are also quite impressive and rather evenly distributed, with 75 in HP, 95 in attack, defense, special attack, and special defense, and 85 in speed, culminating in a solid 540 base stat total. Looking at these base stats, it is safe to say that KINGDRA is meant to have a role as a tank of some sort. KINGDRA's notable abilities include Swift Swim, which doubles its speed in rain, and Sniper, which causes critical hits to do 225% damage instead of the regular critical hit damage of 150%. KINGDRA's move pool is quite extensive and includes utility moves such as Substitute, Dragon Dance, Agility, and Scald, among others. This moveset down below is one of my favorites to use with KINGDRA, and in addition to everything I've noted so far, is one of the reasons why I think it is very underrated. This moveset has KINGDRA hold a Scope Lens, which increases a Pokemon's critical hit ratio by 1 stage. KINGDRA also has the move Focus Energy, which increases its critical hit ratio by a further 2 stages. This means that if you use Focus Energy with KINGDRA's held Scope Lens, it will get a critical hit every time it uses an attacking move. That's right, an 100% chance to get a critical hit on every move. Don't forget, KINGDRA also has the Sniper ability, which raises the power of critical hits significantly. This, paired with powerful stab moves such as Hydro Pump and Draco Meteor, creates an unbelievably powerful combination. Switch KINGDRA in on a Pokemon that is weak against it, use Focus Energy, and you've got one powerful beast to work with. Overall, KINGDRA is a versatile Pokemon that, in my opinion, is very underrated, and as such, it takes spot number 10 on our list. At number 9, we have LUDICOLO, a 3rd generation Pokemon which evolves from Lombre. Ludicolo's wacky design causes many people to underestimate it in battle, but Ludicolo is no joke. Ludicolo is currently in the never used tier of competitive battling. Ludicolo's grass and water typing is very unique, as the 2 types complement each other well. For one thing, water gets rid of grass's fire weakness, and grass gets rid of water's electric weakness. Overall, Ludicolo's typing allows it to resist ground and steel, strongly resist water, and is only weak to bug, flying, and poison. Ludicolo's base stats are quite well rounded overall, with an average 70 in attack, and defense, and speed, and a solid 80 in HP, 90 in special attack, and 100 in special defense, which totals at a decent 480 and makes it designed primarily for a special tank role. Ludicolo's notable abilities include Rain Dish, which heals its HP by 1/16 every turn in the rain, and Swift Swim, which doubles its speed in rain. Rain Dish allows Ludicolo to get recovery of some sort, and Swift Swim doubles its mediocre base speed stat of 70 to 140, which outspeeds all but 12 Pokemon in the entire game. The set below details Ludicolo's uses in battle. One of the biggest advantages that Ludicolo has is being able to use Rain Dance. Most Pokemon that have abilities that give Pokemon boosts in the rain are not able to set up that rain themselves and have to rely on other Pokemon, while Ludicolo can give itself the boosts. Hydro Pump is a powerful stab move. Giga Drain is also powerful stab and grants some recovery to Ludicolo in battle. Ice Beam helps to deal with one of Ludicolo's 3 weaknesses, namely the flying type. So long as you watch out for bug and poison types, which, notably, you will be able to outspeed in the rain, Ludicolo is a great addition to any team and is far underrated for what it is capable of. Landing at number 8 is Gastrodon, a 4th generation Pokemon that evolves from Shellos and who has 2 different forms depending on where you catch it. Currently in the never used tier, Gastrodon is largely considered to be outclassed by Swampert and its Mega, and has competition with other Pokemon that share its water-ground typing, including Quagsire and Seismitoad. However, Gastrodon has its own advantages that warrant its use and demonstrate that it should be used more often. First of all, Gastrodon's water-ground typing is excellent. It provides immunity to electric, which would normally be super effective against its water typing. It also resists a whopping 4 types including fire, poison, rock, and steel, and only has 1 weakness to grass, although, granted, it is a 4 times weakness. Gastrodon's base stats are quite good overall. It has a great 111 in HP, 83 in attack, 68 in defense, 92 in special attack, 82 in special defense, and a very slow 39 in speed, which combine for a solid total of 475. Gastrodon's stats set it up to be a good special tank or special defender. Gastrodon also has great abilities, including Sand Force, which increases the power of rock, steel, and ground type moves by 30% in a sandstorm, and Storm Drain, which grants an additional immunity to the water type and boosts Gastrodon's special attack by 1 stage if it is hit by a water type attack. Even after all this, Gastrodon's move pool is perhaps where it shines the most. The moveset down below includes Stab Scald, which does 80 power in addition to a 30% chance to burn the target. Also, we have Earth Power, which is Ground Stab, Toxic in order to wear the opponent down, and Recover, which heals half of its health, which is amazingly helpful on a defender and is quite a rare move to have. Switch Gastrodon in on a water-type attack in order to raise its special attack even further than its base 92 special attack, and you've got an amazing special tank on your hands with great moves. Coming in at number 7 is CARRACOSTA, a Gen 5 fossil Pokemon that evolves from Tortuga. CARRACOSTA is currently in the PU tier, which is the lowest usage-based tier in competitive battling. CARRACOSTA is a rock and water-type Pokemon, meaning it strongly resists fire, has a regular resistance against flying, ice, normal, and poison, and is weak to electric, fighting, and ground, and 4 times weak to grass. CARRACOSTA's base stats are quite interesting. It has 74 in HP, a strong 108 in attack, an unbelievably powerful 133 in defense, 83 in special attack, 65 in special defense, and a low 32 speed, for a total of 495. CARRACOSTA works well both as a mixed attacker and a mixed defender, and is therefore very versatile both offensively and defensively, which is quite rare and can leave your opponent guessing as to what type of set you're running. CARRACOSTA's best ability is Solid Rock, which decreases the damage done by super effective moves against CARRACOSTA by 25%, which is super useful given that CARRACOSTA has 4 weaknesses. CARRACOSTA's move pool is absolutely amazing. Not only do its base stats allow for effectiveness offensively and defensively, but its move pool does as well. This first set is an offensive set that utilizes Shell Smash, which boosts CARRACOSTA's attack, special attack, and speed by 1 stage and powers it up immensely. This allows CARRACOSTA to get a boost on its Stab Stone Edge, Stab Hydro Pump, and Ice Beam to help with the grass types that threaten it. If that isn't amazing enough, here's one of CARRACOSTA's defensive movesets. In addition to its solid rock ability to weaken super effective attacks against it, and its massive 130 defense base stat, CARRACOSTA can use Stealth Rock, which is the best field hazard move in the game. Scald gives CARRACOSTA a stab 30% chance to burn the foe, Stab Rock Slide gives it a 30% chance to flinch the foe, and it can either poison the opponent with Toxic or get rid of its held item using Knockoff. CARRACOSTA's versatility in both base stats and movesets and its great ability make it a threat to most Pokemon, and it should certainly see more use in the future. Swimming in at number 6 is Tentacruel, a Gen 1 Pokemon that evolves from Tentacool. Tentacruel is currently in the underused or UU tier, but in my opinion could certainly hold its own in the overused or OU tier and needs to be appreciated more. Tentacruel is a poison and water type Pokemon, meaning it has resistance to an unfathomable 8 types, including Bug, Fairy, Fighting, Fire, Ice, Poison, Steel, and Water. Tentacruel is weak to Electric, Ground, and Psychic. Tentacruel's base stats are great and include 80 in HP, 70 in attack, 65 in defense, 80 in special attack, and an amazing 120 in special defense and 100 in speed for a grand total of 515. These base stats make Tentacruel a great candidate for a special tank or utility Pokemon. All 3 of Tentacruel's abilities are useful, and they include Clear Body, which prevents Tentacruel's stats from being lowered by any of the opponent's attacks, items, or abilities, Liquid Ooze, which grants immunity to Tentacruel against any leeching move and causes damage to any Pokemon that attempts to use one of these moves on it, and Rain Dish, which heals 1/16 of Tentacruel's HP in rain. The moveset down below demonstrates Tentacruel's use as a utility Pokemon. Tentacruel is able to use Rapid Spin, which can get rid of any hazards on your side of the field, such as spikes and stealth rocks, and is quite a rare move to have, and definitely a necessary one. Scald provides a strong stab move with a 30% chance to burn, and Tentacruel also has access to Toxic Spikes, another rare move that poisons any of your opponent's Pokemon that switch in unless they are removed. Haze cancels out any stat increases that your opponent has, which is extremely useful and prevents your opponent from setting up on you. Finally, Acid Spray is a 40 power stab poison move that lowers your opponent's special defense by 2 stages. The Liquid Ooze ability is fantastic if you predict any leech moves such as Giga Drain, Drain Punch, Leech Life, Draining Kiss, etc., and can really surprise your opponents by damaging them instead of stealing your health. Overall, Tentacruel is an amazing defensive and support Pokemon with great base stats, an amazing 8 resistances, and a wonderful move pool that can really damage your opponent's team and help out your own. At number 5, the halfway mark, we've got CRAWDAUNT. CRAWDAUNT is a Generation 3 Pokemon that evolves from Corphish. CRAWDAUNT currently sits in the underused tier of competitive battling. CRAWDAUNT is a Water and Dark-type Pokemon that is often outclassed by Pokemon of the same typing, such as Mega Gyarados and Greninja, and competes in the same tier with the likes of Mega Sharpedo. Despite this, I think CRAWDAUNT can hold its own in comparison to these, and is very underrated given its capabilities. CRAWDAUNT's Water and Dark typing makes it immune to Psychic, lets it resist Dark, Fire, Ghost, Ice, Steel, and Water, and makes it weak to Bug, Electric, Fairy, Fighting, and Grass, meaning it has a lot of resistances, but also a lot of weaknesses. CRAWDAUNT's base stats are quite interesting. It has a 63 in HP, a whopping 120 in attack, a solid 85 in defense and 90 in special attack, and a below average 55 special defense and 55 speed, which culminates in a total of 468. CRAWDAUNT only has one noteworthy ability, but boy oh boy is it a special one: Adaptability. Adaptability changes stab from 150 power to 200% power, meaning stab moves become double as powerful as regular moves. The moveset down below shows one of CRAWDAUNT's move pool gems, Swords Dance, which doubles CRAWDAUNT's attack power. Additionally, CRAWDAUNT has access to Crab Hammer, a stab water type move with a massive 100 base power. CRAWDAUNT also has Knockoff, a stab dark type move with 65 base power that removes the opponent's item. Finally, Aqua Jet is a 40 base power priority move, which lets CRAWDAUNT move first. Don't forget, all of these moves are boosted not only by stab, but by adaptability too. Overall, CRAWDAUNT is a scary Pokemon if you switch him in on a weak opposing Pokemon, because he can Swords Dance, and with all of the boosts and a priority move, he can take out large chunks of the opponent's team. Now it's time for number 4. This one is likely going to be surprising to a lot of people, and that's exactly what makes this beast underrated. Seaking is a Generation 1 Pokemon that evolves from Goldeen. Seaking is currently placed in the PU tier, once again the worst tier in competitive battling. Seaking is also a pure water type, meaning it resists fire, ice, steel, and water, and is weak to electric and grass. Seaking's base stats are generally well-rounded, with 80 in HP, a good 92 in attack, 65 in defense, 65 in special attack, 80 in special defense, and 68 in speed, for a passable total of 450. Seaking's base stat orientation makes it optimal for a tank role, given its good defenses and powerful attack. Seaking has two noteworthy abilities, namely Swift Swim, which doubles its speed in rain, which is helpful because Seaking could use a speed boost, and Lightning Rod, which makes Seaking entirely immune to one of its weaknesses, electric. The set below is extremely diverse, and Seaking holds Expert Belt, which increases the power of super effective moves by 20%. Waterfall provides powerful stab with a 20% chance to flinch the target. Mega Horn is a 120 base power bug type move that can absolutely wreck any grass types that try to switch in on Seaking because it is weak to them. Alternatively, Poison Jab can be used for grass and fairy types, and it has 80 base power with a 30% chance to poison. Knockoff does a great job of getting rid of the opponent's item and provides additional coverage. Finally, Drill Run is an 80 power ground type move with a high critical hit ratio and is perfect for countering electric types that might try to switch in on Seaking. And of course, they're in for a big surprise when they find out Seaking is immune to electric to begin with. No matter if you use Mega Horn or Poison Jab, you will have Expert Belt boosted super effective coverage against 9 or more types, grass as your only weakness, and a bug or poison move to deal with grass types, a ground type move to counter electric types that you've tricked due to your immunity, and solid tank stats on a Pokemon people won't know how to deal with since it is so rarely used. Coming in third place for the bronze medal, we've got Clawitzer. Clawitzer is a Generation 6 Pokemon that evolves from Clauncher. Clawitzer currently sits in the never used tier in competitive battling. Clawitzer is pure water type, meaning it also resists fire, ice, steel, and water, and is weak to electric and grass. Clawitzer's got quite strong base stats overall, with 71 HP, 73 attack, 88 defense, a whopping 120 special attack, a solid 89 in special defense, and 59 speed, for a solid total of 500. Clawitzer only has one ability, but is it ever a great one? Mega Launcher. Mega Launcher raises the power of all Pulse and Aura moves by an unreal 50%. The moveset below makes full use of this ability by making Clawitzer a special sweeper. Water Pulse, Dark Pulse, and Aura Sphere all get the Mega Launcher boost and provide amazing type coverage in addition to Ice Beam, which covers its grass weakness. To give you a sense of this thing's power, think about Water Pulse for a second. It becomes 120 power with the Mega Launcher ability, being used with a 120 base special attack, is also stab, and has a 20% chance to confuse the target. Clawitzer is absolutely phenomenal and is definitely underrated. And our runner-up is Feraligator, a Gen 2 Pokemon that is the final evolution of the water starter Pokemon Totodile. Feraligator is currently in the rarely used tier, but in my opinion, could definitely hold its own in UU and maybe even OU. Feraligator is a pure water type just like Seaking and Clawitzer, meaning it resists fire, ice, steel, and water, and is weak to electric and grass. Feraligator's base stats are quite solid on the whole. It has a good 85 in HP, a great 105 in attack and 100 in defense, and a passable 79 in special attack, 83 in special defense, and 78 in speed, which totals at a great 530. A lot of people think Feraligator is merely a sweeper Pokemon with mediocre speed and strong attack, but if you think about it, its 85, 100, and 83 defenses are actually pretty good as well. Feraligator's best ability is Sheer Force, which increases the power of moves that have a secondary effect, such as a chance to freeze or flinch, by 30%, but it removes those secondary effects. Luckily, Feraligator has a lot of moves that take advantage of this ability, and the loss of the secondary effect is definitely worth the 30% boost in power. Waterfall is a great 80 base power stab move that is boosted by Sheer Force as well. Crunch and Ice Punch are also boosted, which helps to deal with dragons and grass types, the latter of which are one of the two types that are super effective against FERALIGATR. FERALIGATR was also blessed with Dragon Dance, a move that boosts both its attack and speed 1.5 times, which gives it immense attack power and also a needed boost in speed. FERALIGATR also has access to Aqua Jet if priority is needed. Overall, FERALIGATR is a fantastic Pokemon that is not just a glass cannon with low defenses. It has great power on its own, then Sheer Force and Dragon Dance are cherries on top of the cake. Don't underestimate this thing, and don't be surprised if it makes its way to underused or further one day. It's finally time for the most underrated water-type Pokemon, and it is none other than Lanturn. Lanturn is a Pokemon first introduced in Generation 2 that evolves from Chinchou. Lanturn has to be one of the most forgotten fully evolved Pokemon of all time. Not only is it not used by any noteworthy characters in the anime nor the games, but it has consistently been placed in the lower tiers in competitive battling since its release. Lanturn is currently in the never used tier. It has very unique and amazing typing in that it is water and electric. That means Lanturn strongly resists steel, resists fire, flying, ice, and water, and only has two weaknesses: grass and ground. Lanturn's base stats are quite impressive. It has an unreal 125 in HP, 58 in attack, 58 in defense, 76 in special attack, 76 in special defense, and 67 in speed, for a grand total of 460. It doesn't need that attack stat at all, and if you're thinking its defenses are rather low, think again. That 125 HP stat makes up for it hugely. It has two noteworthy abilities, Volt Absorb and Water Absorb. These abilities both have similar functions. Volt Absorb heals 25% of Lanturn's health if it is hit by an electric attack, and Water Absorb does the same if it is hit by a water attack. Volt Absorb is usually the preferred option since it grants an immunity to electric to Lanturn and makes its typing even better. Lanturn's move pool serves as yet another bonus. In the moveset below, it has access to Stab Scald if you're looking for the chance to burn, or Stab Hydro Pump if you're looking for raw power. It also has Volt Switch, a Stab 70 base power electric type move that is amazing for pivoting, as it allows Lanturn to switch out. Ice Beam provides super effective coverage against grass and ground types that are super effective against Lanturn, although the latter is more easily taken out with super effective Hydro Pump or Scald. This means that Lanturn has the ability to take out both of the types that are super effective against it. Hidden Power Fire also takes out the challenging steel types such as Ferrothorn that would otherwise wall Lanturn. Lanturn also holds an Assault Vest, which raises its special defense by an even further 50%. With super effective coverage against both of its weaknesses, great defensive stats, amazing typing that allows for an immunity, a strong resistance, and 4 regular resistances, a pivot move, 2 stab attacks, and an Assault Vest for 50% more special defense, Lanturn is undoubtedly the most underrated water type in the game. The fact that some people haven't even heard of Lanturn, it is in the never used tier, and it is never featured as a major character in the anime or the games, is a testament to how underrated it is. It is now time for 3 honorable mentions. These Pokemon didn't quite make it onto the list because they were overshadowed by another Pokemon on this list. First is Octillery, which with a great move pool that includes Hydro Pump, Fire Blast, Energy Ball, and Ice Beam among others, and the Sniper ability, is overshadowed by KINGDRA, which has the same ability but better typing, stats, and access to Focus Energy. Next is Lapras, with which its defensive bulk, the Water Absorb ability, and Freeze Dry, which can help counter water types with a super effective ice move, is slightly overshadowed by Gastrodon, which has access to Recover and better typing. Finally, Milotic, with its great defensive bulk and vast supportive move pool, is slightly overshadowed by Tentacruel and his 8 resistances and even better supportive movesets. If this was a top 13, these 3 certainly would have been featured. Well, that about does it for this video, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a ton of work to make, so if you liked it, please be sure to show some love and give it a like. If you'd like to see more of these, it would be awesome if you could subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get updates on when I release a new video. Finally, tell me your thoughts on this video in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.